Hello guys, welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to do these really cool video outros. This was requested by someone in my last tutorial, so if you do have any requests, please be sure to leave it in the comments of this video and I'll be sure to get around to doing it. So yeah, I think it looks pretty cool in my opinion, and yeah, you got the gameplay in the background, and yeah, so let's get into it. So first off, we're going to go to File, New, and the dimensions we're going to be using in 1920 by 1080 just because those are the HD dimensions that most video creators use, so just press OK. And yeah, so now we've got this blank white canvas, and we're going to be, first off, what we're going to be doing is going to make these video boxes just so we don't design inside them. And yeah, so to do that, we're going to go to our square tool, which is right here, or our rectangle tool. Make sure the fill is a black, so just click on the black, which is right there, and I'm just going to click once. And for these dimensions, we're going to do 1280 by 720. Just like that, and that will create a big black rectangle. So what we're going to do is press Command T, and while we got our rectangle selected, and we're just going to hold Shift and Alt just to drag downwards, just so we can get the right size for our video. And yeah, I think that's good. So we just press on the tick, and there we go. Now we've done that, we need to make sure that is because we're going to be having two, so we need to make sure that they're both the same distance from the center. So to do that, we need to find out where the center is. So we need to click on the padlock of our bottom layer just to unlock it, press Command T, and now we see we have this little icon in the middle, and now we can actually use that to find the middle of our canvas. So if you don't have these rulers along the side, just press Command R and now hide and show them. So you just want to click, drag it inwards, and there we go. If they don't show straight away, just press Command and colon, and you can use that shortcut to hide and show your rulers. And then we're just going to click, drag downwards from the top as well, and there you can see we have two rulers here, one coming vertically and one coming horizontally. And now we can actually move our rectangle, so press Command T on your rectangle, and we're going to use this icon in the middle of the rectangle to kind of line it up with the center of our canvas. And yeah, so now we've done that, we can just press enter, and now we can hold Alt and just drag it using Shift to the other side. Now to make sure that they are both the same distance from the center, all you need to do is go to our rectangle tool, which is right here, change the fill to kind of a bright color just so it's easier to tell the difference. And we don't want to change the color of this rectangle, so all we need to do is we need to make a new layer, then go to our rectangle tool, then change the color. So we'll just go for blue, and then I'm just going to click, drag from one of the rectangles to the center just like that, and then we can just click, drag it over to the other side, and then you can see that this one's a bit further away than this one. So we just want to click, just drag it up to the blue, and there we go. Now we can tell that they are both the same distance apart from the center. And yeah, so now we've done that, we want to make these rectangles transparent. And yeah, just like if I was to hide the background, you can see that these rectangles are actually transparent because this is where the videos are going to go. And yeah, so to do that, we're going to hold Command, click on the thumbnail for this layer, then hold Shift and Command for the next thumbnail, just so we select both of the thumbnails, then go to our bottom layer and just click on this icon right here, which is the mask layer. Just click, and there you can see that everywhere is transparent but the two rectangles. So to invert it, all we need to do is click on our layer mask, which is right here, press Command I, and there you can see that it inverted it, and we can actually delete these rectangles just like that. Okay, so now you can see that we've got our spaces for the videos, and now we need to start building the background. So to do that, I got this texture off Google. I literally just downloaded it to my computer, and yeah, so I literally just typed in texture and just picked off anyone that would look good. I wouldn't usually go for the white ones. The white ones don't really look that good. I'd probably go for a blue one. All textures that have a color instead of black and white. I suppose black ones can work sometimes, but when they have a color, it usually works best. So yeah, once we got our texture, we just want to click and drag it in just like that, and we just want to hold Shift and Alt just to make it the same size of our canvas. And now we can right click on the texture and press Create Clipping Mask, and now you can see that it kind of masks it to the mask that we've got on our first layer. So you can see that there is a transparent rectangles for each of the video spaces. So now that we've done that, we're going to go to Filter, Blur, and then Gaussian Blur, and we're just going to blur it however much we like until we like the look of it pretty much. I think for the example I did about 44 but obviously depending on what texture you use will depend on how much you have to blur it. So I think we'll go for about 60. It looks kind of nice, it's looking kind of good. And yeah, so now that we've done that, we're going to download some gameplay footage. So I just got some CSGO footage, so I'm going to click and drag it in, and again I just got this from Google. So now that we've done that, we're going to right click on our layer, go to clipping mask again, and now you can see that we're going to continuously do that for all of our layers. And yeah, so now that we've done that, we're going to change the blending mode to overlay, just like that, and now you can see that we kind of brings the colors from the texture in front and adds it to the gameplay, and it looks really nice that way. And I'm actually going to lower the opacity as well, so we'll put it to about 50%, and yeah, it's looking pretty good, it's looking pretty nice. And yeah, so now that we've done that, we're going to press command and then click on the layer mask, and then you can see that it selects the mask basically. And we're going to make a new layer. So before we make the new layer, just make sure that you click on your top layer, then go to new layer, just so it'll go to the very top. And then what we're going to do is go to select border, and then select modify, and then border, sorry, and then make sure the width is pretty low. I'd probably go for about 2 or 3. Just press OK, and now we press Alt and then backspace to fill the selection with our foreground color. You can see that you've got this white outline going around, and then we also have a really thin outline going around the video boxes as well. And now that we've done that, we're just going to go to our blending mode and then just go to overlay, and you can kind of see that it kind of I don't know what the word is, probably enhance the colors around the edges, and I kind of like the way it looks. And yes, that's why I use it. And then we can just make this a clipping mask as well, just by right clicking, go to create clipping mask. And yeah, so now that we've done that, I'm going to kind of create these lines that you can kind of see around the banner. They look pretty cool. I like it. I like using them quite a lot of my designs, and they're really easy to do as well. So to do that, we're going to go to our brush tool. First we want to make a new layer, and now we're going to go to our brush tool just by pressing B on your keyboard, and we want to right click, and we want to use this default brush, which is right here, and we're going to change the size to about 2 or 3 again. I think we'll go for about 3 this time. And now we're going to go to our pen tool, and just want to click, we just want to make random lines. I don't like using parallel lines, although because they just don't look very good. So you can see that this line is parallel to this line, and they just don't end up looking good. So we might just cut across and then go up here. And yeah, so you just want to make random lines, then go to right click, stroke path, and you want to uncheck stimulate pressure and make sure that the tool is on brush, then just press OK. And then you can see that we have all these white lines running around the design, sorry. And now we're going to change the blending mode of the lines to overlay. And yeah, I think that would look pretty cool. It's kind of the same effects that we have running around the outside of the design and around the outside of the video boxes. And yeah, so once we got our layer with these lines, we're going to go to our eraser tool just by pressing E on our keyboard, and we're just going to click randomly just to add a bit more depth to the lines. And yeah, I think they look better when you erase some parts. And yeah, so now we've got our lines. It's looking pretty nice. And yeah, so now the next thing we're going to add is this glare that you can see that we've got running across. And this is also really easy to make. It also adds a really nice effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer just by clicking down here, go to our pen tool, and we're just going to click right across. We're going to make a path right across the whole design, and then just go around just like that. Now we're going to right click, go to make selection, and just press OK. And now we're going to go to our brush tool, so just press B on the keyboard, and we can use our square bracket keys to make the brush bigger. And I'm just going to click once. Actually, we do want to click once, but we want to make sure the brush is a decent size. So just click once, just find the right position, just like that. And now you can see that we've got this really cool glare just running across the screen. And then we can just press overlay, and yeah, now you can see it looks pretty cool. And we can actually lower the opacity of that as well if we wanted to, but I'm actually going to leave that quite high still. And yeah, so you can see that we got our background sorted, we got our glare, we got our lines, and we got this outline running. And yeah, it's looking pretty cool so far. It's not looking too bad. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the text. So what we're going to do is we're going to press T on our keyboard to use our text tool, and we're just going to click, and we're just going to type in "thanks for watching," and then we can hold Command and Shift just to drag it out, and yeah, just like that. And I'm actually gonna make the watching on a separate line, so I'm just gonna press enter just to separate it, just like that. And now we're gonna use our margins that I mean our rulers that we made earlier, just to make sure it's centered. So we press Command T in our text, and we can just make sure it's centered this way, just like that. We can make this a bit bigger if we wanted to, and yeah, I kind of like how it kind of fades into the light, like that. You can keep it like that. There are other ways of doing it. You can also set the text to overlay, and you can kind of see there's a bit of orange going on in the text now. So yeah, you might want to keep it like that. But for the example, I actually used a different color for the top line and the bottom line. So to do that, we're going to just press T on our keyboard again, just select the top line, and then click on the square up here, and we're just going to find the color that we want, and that will suit. So the banner's kind of, I mean not the banner, the outro is kind of orange already, so we might go for a bit of an orange at the top, just like that. Okay, and now we're going to double click on our layer just to add a layer style. So just double click, if I can actually find a place, there we go. And so now we're going to add a gradient. I might just lower the, just drag it down just by clicking and dragging down to move the gradient around on the text. Might add a drop shadow just like that. You guys can pause the video and copy down these digits if you want. They should be pretty close to the default ones, so yeah, there shouldn't be too much playing around. So okay, that's good. And yeah, I think for this one, actually no, we might add a satin. Just mess around. Yeah, okay, we're not going to add the satin. It doesn't actually have too much effect on the orange. So yeah, we're only going to add a gradient and a drop shadow, and yeah. So now we've added our layer style here. I'm actually going to hold Alt, just drag down using Shift, and then I can press Command T to make this a lot smaller, just like that, and then press T on our keyboard again, and we're just going to type watch another one. Yeah, we might as well just put a meme of DJ Khaled while we're at it. Yeah, so I'm just going to put that there, and I know that we're going to get a lot of memes in the comments description, so if we could try and limit it as much as we can, that would be appreciated. I'm just joking, I don't really care. But yeah, so once we've got our text here, just going to select it all, then change the color to a white, and yeah, I kind of like having just the top orange, and yeah, I think it looks pretty cool that way. And yeah, so we got our text here, and we've got our heading up here as well. Now we can actually add our social media. So you can see that we got our social media down here. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer. Actually no, we're not going to create a new layer. We're going to press T on our keyboard again, and we can just, I'm just going to put my social media. So let's put BazDZN, just like that. Hold Command and Shift to drag it out to make it bigger, just like that. And then I can just set the blending mode to overlay. I kind of like making the social media overlay, the social media blending mode overlay, just because I like the way it looks, how it like blends into the background. So yeah, we can make sure this is centered, although we will end up moving it anyway. Okay, so we've got our text here, and I've actually got all of my social media set up as brushes. So let's just create the new layer, and then we're going to right click, and you can see that I've got all these logos here as a brush. If you want to know how to do that, I have made a tutorial in the past. It's quite an old tutorial, so I'll leave a link to that in the description. And yeah, so once we've done that, we can just click off just to get rid of the pop-up menu, use our square bracket keys to make the symbols smaller, and then just click, and then we're going to change this to overlay as well. And then yeah, now we can actually make it centered just by selecting both of our layers. Press Command : to show the rulers, and then press Command T to kind of just drag it to the middle, and there you go. You can see that our social media is now centered, and I'd actually drag this out either side and then add my other social media, but I'm not actually going to do that just because it'll take too long, and you guys know how to do that just because I've just shown you. And yeah, so when I'm using a gameplay footage that is outside, so you can see that they are running outside, I kind of like to add the sun as a light source, and sometimes this can look good, sometimes it can look bad, but we'll try it anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to our gameplay footage right here, make a new layer, and then we're going to make sure that our foreground color is a white. Press OK, and then press B on our keyboard to get our brushes, and we're going to right click, and we're just going to go to our default brushes right here, and we're going to press our square bracket keys to make it a lot bigger, and then we can just click once up there, and then we're going to set the blending mode to overlay, and that kind of adds a cool light ray effect down, and you can see there's quite a big difference. And yeah, it looks pretty cool. And yeah, that's basically how we do this video outro tutorial, guys. If you did enjoy it and you did find it useful, please don't forget to leave a like. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.